Here's the video, and Lord Knight put it up.
Let's talk about
Lord Knight put up a clip about Baiken being terrible. I was saying that I agree, because I actually don't think Baiken's that good in the game. But there was a player online who said Baiken was really strong, and Lord Knight's just being a down player. That guy was like, not even Vanquisher. He was like he's like Diamond or something. YouTube, glad you've been enjoying all the videos. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as like and share the video.
Saw #1 Baiken down player, Lord Knight. It's just outrageous. The absolute vileness to just at the developers directly with your struggles, bro. You want me to hop on? You think I want to talk to you, bro? Yeah, actually, I'm down in a second, but let me go over this. Let me cover your discretions first. He has a list called the defense character, you know, potential man meme, all the things that she struggles with. And honestly, this one's kind of heat, I can't lie. The fact that he has like the list ready, he even went as far as to say, and listen, I'm all for all characters need weaknesses, but she has so many. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. As someone who doesn't play Baiken, when I saw this tweet, I thought to myself, yeah, you should give her that, because that doesn't make the character good in a way that I care about at all, and that's a fake buff. If they gave her that, they'd be so excited, and that wouldn't matter at all. So
is Baiken potential woman? On paper, Baiken should be really strong. In reality, that's not true.
The anti-projectile move is not anti-projectile, like, no way. And they're just like talking. And then people like this guy, stupid son of your mom's head off and play another game.
That's everyone. That is literally everyone. Anytime somebody says anything wrong, that's go play another game, you moron. That's literally everyone. Why don't you just go play another game? I think everyone can kind of agree Baiken's not the greatest character in the game. I get you don't like people complaining about your favorite game, but bro, if you're bad at the game, don't have an opinion. Okay, that sounds kind of mean. But if you're bad at the game, don't tell me that I'm wrong. If you're gold or silver, bro, don't tell me I'm wrong, because you're wrong. Is Potemkin really the best? There's an argument. Potemkin's really good. Yeah, there's an argument here, but this is like top 5, top 6-ish. You're Red Ditto hate con. Yeah, where's
that he's talking about like a character like Anji, asking for buffs for a character who is absolutely god tier. Like he's like these Potemkin players, maybe the best character in the game or like top 3 or whatever for like 2 years or something now. It's been a long ass time. And there are Potemkin players who to this day are like, nah, man, he's never been that good. They just...
Yeah, and then it's always the grappler players. I mean, Geek players are the same way, but Potemkin players are like that too, where it's, hey, my character's not that good. I gotta work mad hard. Yo, if you jump my command grab, I'll die. Teehee.
I like this one. Please post elo/any relevant competitive results you may have. Thank you, exclamation point. And iDom came in here earlier, and like the first thing he said, by the way, was, I wish when people chatted to you on Twitter or on chat, you could see their rank. I think when you ask for buffs for a character who is not very...
That's what yeah, that's literally what I said. I wish there was like a rank so I could just rank check everyone who ever says anything. Please. Because like I said, anyone who ever says anything about people... It's so funny because you're probably just bad at the game, and that's okay. I feel like people say that's being elitist, but at the same time, brother, I know everyone's always like, I'm not gonna tell LeBron James how to play basketball. Bro, I'm not gonna tell Tyler Hero how to play basketball. I'm not gonna tell Lonzo Ball how to play basketball. They're in the NBA, I'm not. What do you want me to do?
There's this like cycle of feeling like you must defend your character at all times, because oftentimes the attacks on people go to their characters rather than their skill. There's a constant shifting of who they're trying to point the Nerf gun at. And it's the same kind of fear in reverse that goes into buffing of like, no, you can't buff this character.
Yeah, I think that's a real thing. And people are just scared of their character getting nerfed, so everyone will try to deflect. I mean, all the JP players tried to deflect to Mai. And like I say, you see the Sagat players be like, oh, Mai's broken. Or, you know, the Ed players would be like, yo, yeah, Sagat's not that strong. Ed's broken. And then it's always like, yo, why did Sin get nerfed when Leo's been top 5 the entire lifespan of the game or whatever? Everyone does that. But then people also think you're attacking the player and to be like, when people say Blanca needs to be nerfed and it's like, oh, you just hate Mena. I'm like, no, I think Blanca needs to be nerfed. The way I've always see it is you need to nerf the characters that are unfun to play against. That's kind of how I see it.
One thing I'd talk about, there's an expectation on the internet where if you're like a big account, you must be nice to people who are smaller accounts. AKA, if this person goes on here and says all this shit to LK, LK can't be mean back. Go yourself. You and I are the same. We're both humans, allegedly. And I'm supposed to be extremely nice.
Yo, that, you know, thanks, Sajam. That's what I got from this. I gotta be toxic to all those YouTube commenters. Thanks, Sajam. I learned something today. I'm gonna start banning all these dudes who come into my chat. Fuck them.
My lord.
Dude, they're beating your ass in the core retweets.
No, I'm beating their ass in the core retweets.
I was just saying, but I feel like your buff suggestions were actually so tame.
I probably have about 30 things they could improve with her, and they don't need to do all of them. So I'm just showing them one by one. Side note, in Sin's case, one of my early impressions of this patch is Sin is not good, and people really came at me for that, and I was like, what is good about Sin? And I don't get answers. All I got was shoot out on one with Sin. I'm still waiting for people to tell me what is good about Sin.
True. And I feel like that's also kind of one other thing that's happened in modern fighting games. Bro, you can't say a character is bad without, you know, discrediting another player. Because, yeah, Churara won with Sin, and I still don't think Sin's that good. It's not like, oh, this character won a tournament, so they're broken. It's not like people do that with Mena and be like, oh, Blanca's broken, and you're only saying Blanca's broken because Mena's winning. No, Blanca's just broken. That had nothing to do with the person. And yeah, Churara won with Sin, and I still think I don't think Sin's that good in the game. It's just obviously more strong characters. It's bigger fish to fry. Yeah, I just think Blanca's broken. I just think Blanca's strong in general. And nothing to do with Mena, Shigematsu, whatever Blanca player is on screen. Bro, Blanca's just strong. Yeah, like I said, when you talk character in a fighting game, I think some people just feel like they're getting attacked, and they shouldn't feel like that. I'm not trying to attack anyone when I'm just talking about character strength. At the end of Street Fighter V, I thought Laura was like probably top 15 in the game. But then people will say, oh, he's downplaying. I'm like, bro, I'm not even trying to downplay. I can legit just name reasons why I don't think this character is that strong or that good. And I've never really believed in downplaying anyway. I'd never try to downplay my characters. I just try to have like a civil discussion about where I think the character is. Even with Manon, I think people say I'd say Manon's better than where she is, but I think Manon is strong. I think the game is bad, but I do think Manon is strong. That's why I always think it's funny too when I'm always like, yo, I think Drive Rush is a bad mechanic. I could list like 4 or 5 reasons why I think Drive Rush is a bad mechanic. I do think Drive Rush does some good stuff for the game, but overall, I think Drive Rush is unhealthy. But whenever I ask people, oh, what makes Drive Rush fun that's keeping you engaged in the game, no one has an answer. And it's been years. I think, okay, it's funny it's funny with the X Factor thing. I do think X Factor is a bit unhealthy, but I think X Factor does more good than bad. I think X Factor is good because it makes more characters get picked in that game. If X Factor wasn't in that game, Phoenix would never get picked. Strider would never get picked. Virgil would probably fall off. Who else would fall off? Strange would be dog. There would be so many more bad characters in Marvel 3 if X Factor wasn't there.
Right now, basically, I think Baiken's thing is specifically like, you need to be this tall to ride. If you're better than them and you know their character well, they basically can't do that much to you. So when you watch me play somebody that I'm like distinctly better than, everything's getting guard canceled, they can't get in, I get meter eventually, I hit them with Yos on and win the game. But when I'm playing someone on even footing or one of her really bad matchups, you're like, what is she supposed to do?
That's a huge thing in modern fighting games. I think people don't like the hopelessness that certain games have. Marvel 3 is very notorious for that. Marvel 3 has a lot of hopeless like people to play against, or like you play somebody and you're like, I can't do anything. But yeah, Bike is also kind of like that. If you're playing a good enough Bike player, you feel hopeless, but I never, like I said, I never really felt like that because I don't think Baiken. But if you're like a newer player and you gotta fight a really good Baiken, it's probably just like miserable.
There are some characters where every time they nerf them, they are like, we can't nerf this character without buffing them. Some characters, they get just nerf, like in Street Fighter, they could just nerf Manon and then just like down. But if they nerf JP, they're like, we should also make it so that EX Ghost cancels in a level 2. You guys down? They're just like down to make some characters worse with no compensation, and then they just give good characters nerfs and then compensate so that they're in the same spot.
I was targeted towards me. I mean, it's just like I said, bad player. I can only imagine being not that good at the game and fighting Manon. That's probably miserable. Fighting games are very hard because I think for a lot of new players, it's very hard to tell what's strong, and then they might just lose to something that's not considered good. But then you don't want to have like the bad players have like not a fun time. Hero shooters have the same problem where people were saying the supports are bad, and in Marvel Rivals, like triple support was really strong. And it's like, yo, the supports aren't bad. You're bad. But we also don't want you to stop playing the game. That's why normal shooters are the best, because if gun kill fast and numbers support gun killing fast, gun kill fast. There's no work around it. So you nerf gun. Like I said, if you're bad and like you're playing Mai and you're fighting Honda and you're getting dumpstered by Honda mashing headbutt and you don't know what to do, you know, Mai's better than Honda, or you just might not know what to do.
The only thing I can give people in this game is that top 1 Baiken is probably pretty cringe. Not even probably, very cringe. I can admit that it would be very cringe. I mean, it would be nice, but it's like, there's a thing where people are like, dude, you know she's not good. You're wasting your time. Switch characters. From a competitive standpoint, sure. And I'm not going to go into like all the counter pick exploration and stuff I've tried to do. But like, can I not ask for the thing I enjoy to be like one time? So the ABBA players are like not functional. No one understands the character. They don't understand what they did to us. Not only when she released, everyone said she's bottom 1. I played her week 1. I was like, no, there's no way she's bottom 1. She's like mad good. But then she has like a top tier patch. Or like the Slayer down player who said it took 3 months for people to figure out Slayer was viable, which is insane. That was within a couple of hours. People are like, the character is broken, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the impression on him was insane immediately.
Dude, specifically, when they showed the Slayer silhouette after finals that year, there's a clip of me like depressed. I'm like, I can't believe they're adding him. I'm trying to tell everybody it's not a good thing that everyone's like, oh, you're not hype. You're not hype. Day 1, immediately broken. What's the point? How dare they pay to win? And I'm like, yo.
Slayer really got nerfed off the face of the earth too, because I used to run into Slayer so much in rank, and now I don't fight Slayer at all. I don't remember the last time I fought a Slayer.
If you invest a lot of time in a character, particularly in a game like this, there's like a certain mastery you have. And if you swap characters, it takes a long time to regain the level of mastery. And also there might just not be a character you want to play that's the exact style that you're looking for that's better than your current character. Like, I think most players should not just play a character who's cheap. They should play a character who is cheap, who fits their ideal playstyle and like intentions in the game, right? Because like if you don't land on something that's like the right combo of both, I think it's hard to want to invest like X amount of thousands.
Yeah, I say that so many times when people also tell me to switch too. Bro, people tell me to switch to Mai, and I'm like, bro, even if I did switch to Mai, brother, I'm not turning on the game. Like, I would never want to play. I don't even think I would do a 1v1 me. The reason why I got so good with Testament is because Testament made me want to turn on the game. Like, I was interested in playing the game because I was having fun playing Testament, and I was having a blast. So I got better with Testament just by putting the hours in and wanting to play. When Viper came out, I was doing the same, but after a while, I started realizing the optimal way to play Viper was just to put the person in the corner and throw loop them, and then I started getting bored. When you want to get better at something, you have to have fun on the character to want to turn on the game in the first place. Yeah, that happens too. Somebody's character will get nerfed and then they don't want to play anymore because people are like, oh, they nerfed the fun. Which is why I think Street Fighter 6 is very hesitant about nerfing character, because I know a lot of people like that. Cool Kid quit Street Fighter 5 when they nerfed Abigail, which I thought was funny because Abigail needed nerfs. I don't think any sane person thought Abigail was fair. To me, that's also kind of a fine line. There's obviously the character needs nerf, but at the same time is very, very, very hard.
The true fighting game dream from a competitive perspective is good player, broken character that they like. That's when you start talking about eras. Like LK Mitsuru, Lawso, Elfel, early Hotashi Nago, like that stuff. There are players like Takedo, for example, who have like a reputation for just picking cheap stuff. And like you will do well when that happens, but that's not where dynasties are formed. It's really good person and like playing something that vibes with them, and it's good.
Even Tokido's JP is not the best right now. I don't think Tokido's JP is that good. Well, he's just never really found his footing in 6.
Making fun of his Tokido's JP for a while. He's looking like a mercenary on that guy.
Yeah.
There's some very good
people. Tokido's JP is the probably the other side of it. His JP is not that good, but I feel like he doesn't have a character he wants to play in the game. And JP is obviously really strong in this game. He just has a character he doesn't really like. Why doesn't Tokido just play Akuma? Akuma is strong, but A, I don't think Tokido would have that great on results with Akuma either. And B, maybe he just doesn't like Akuma in this game.
I usually say things like, it's okay to not know, but don't speak to me. Don't speak to me if you don't know.
I have a unique power where I played everybody.
Yeah.
They can't hit me if you don't understand my character's nerfs. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I literally do. I played the character.
I feel like I can't engage in this in the same way because the first thing that happened to me is I played a character who I thought was bottom 5 in like the first game I was competing in a lot, and then everybody told me he was potential man and he was actually good, and then I just picked the best character in the game and started beating everybody who I was like, going even with or struggling with before. And I was like, I've learned. Because when I won with the good character, it was this character's broken. And when I lost with the bad character, it was, nah, you just don't get it yet.
That's what it all is. If your feed is filled with a lot of balanced discourse in the next week or two, it is my fault.
No, you got to get
it
active.
Has to be done. It has to be done now too, because they make these patches like 3 months before they actually come out. So
that's ball knowledge, by the way. You are right. If you want changes for a character, you got to be early because it takes a while.
Because that's my complaint about the game right now. It's just character balance stuff.
It's funny because I agree. Strive's biggest complaint right now is probably just character balance. I don't really have any other complaint. Yeah, my biggest Strive complaint right now is probably character balance. I think the game's a bit imbalanced, but I just think the top tiers are just really strong. I don't think 6's problem is character balance. I think the game is just kind of boring. So Joy, I played the beta. I played the first 2 betas, and I had my criticism about the game, but I was like, overall, this game's pretty good. I don't hate the game. I think during the last beta, I got kind of bored, so I didn't even play the last beta that much because I was like, this game's kind of boring, and I played the first 2 betas, and I kind of got the gist of it. So the game comes out. I'm trying the new characters, like Moron wasn't in any of the betas, JP wasn't in any of the betas. I'm trying the new characters. I was a bit interested. I played Monon for a bit. Oh yeah, Monon's cool. This is whatever. Then I went to Evo and I lost to Shen Chang DJ and I just got drive rushed at. And he said, oh, you clearly don't know the matchup because you tried to check the drive rush. Monon versus DJ. And I was like, man, this game is ass. When I played the beta, I was playing Jury and I was like, damn, drive rush is just really wrong. Because I kept doing like dry rush, medium punch, or fireball, drive rush, and just throw looping people. But that's where I started saying, damn, this game's kind of boring. People were saying, oh, it's just the way you're playing Jury. But then I played a Luke in the beta as well. And then I was like, bro, I'm kind of just throw looping people. Like, this isn't that engaging. This is just kind of boring. And yeah, before everyone was just saying, oh, it's just the characters in the beta. You know, it's the beta, they'll probably change it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Because my rule is you can't really judge a game off of the first season because season 1 of every fighting game is ass. Season 1 Dragon Ball is bad. Season 1 Strive was bad. Season 1 Street Fighter 5 was horrendous. That's the worst season 1 I've ever played. If I show season 1 gameplay in season 4 gameplay of Street Fighter 6, it still looks like the same game, which is a very big problem. If I showed you season 1 Strive and current Strive, that game is much different. That's different for every game that I just listed. Season 1 6 and 6 now still looks very similar.
Why are some characters still on the last patch? And why do some characters just don't get love? You know, Testament's another one. Never had a patch. You want to know a fun stat about Testament? How many matches do you think Testament has played in Arc World Tour top 8s that are not silver, so gold or higher?
It's got to be less than like 10. So
it's 9. Okay. It's 9. HC is the most by far. It's like double of second place.
I was the first one to get shot, so I.
You were. I remember.
That's not chill vibes, bro. I got shot and they were about soul while I was getting shot, and I was like, this is not good, guys.
Peeps, something bad.
I was like Paul Revere.
Oh yeah. I remember Sajeb saying that. Because everyone was like, season 1 soul was broken. Which season 1 soul was broken, but there were bigger fish to fry and Happy Chaos being way better. And that's kind of what happened.
Baiken is not that good. And like the things that make her not that good are things that you're like, nah, she should probably have that. I think it's like very reasonable, and I don't even like Baiken that much.
Yeah, if I'm ever unreasonable, let me know. Do you want a preemptive one as a bonus?
Oh sure, what you got?
You gotta put pot Baiken, and you gotta put pot at a spot where 5H whiffs, and then do H comedy and 5H at the same time and see what happens.
The thing about this Potemkin character is every time I fight him, I almost always think like the person on the other side of the screen is doing so little, and they think they're doing so much.
I missed the word to Vanquisher, but when he did pot, when Lord Knight did pot, he said pot is so dumb because there's literally just like, I'm gonna get outplayed, I'm gonna get 50 meter, I'm gonna get in, I'm going to do Garuda, and then it's just like, good luck.